Oh man, we are live for a special show of the Dynasty Overload podcast. But before I do our introduction, we got to go ahead and run our intro.
You're listening to the Dynasty Overload podcast.
You know who not bomber class rampant? You know me? I am the original Dantana. You understand the road boy? I don't want to ramp with bomber class me. Come on.
Listening to the Dynasty Overload podcast.
Man,
What up?
man, it's good to be back. How you guys feeling, Razman, Sheila?
Hey, I'm feeling good, bro.
I'm ready to go.
Awesome.
I think we got some topics, man, and it's about to get real over here, is what it sounds like.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, welcome to the Dynasty Overload podcast. I am your host, Manny, joined by my two co-hosts, Razman and 3D Sheila, in the building. And I call this episode Debate This, Debate That. We might not be friends during this episode, but at the end of the day, we all brothers. We all family. So I'm ready to get this thing on and popping. Before we get this thing going, Sheila, is there any current events?
Right now, we are on Dalvin Cook cut watch. That's what we're waiting on. There's been a lot of stuff reported. We're waiting to see, is it Alexander Madison season? Is it Dwayne McBride season? We might have something to talk about with that show tonight, but looking forward to seeing exactly what's going on. And then also, what backfield is Dalvin Cook going to destroy?
That's a good one. So today's episode is being streamed live on the Dynasty Overload podcast Twitter, which is Dynasty Overload. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Dynasty Overload. Also, this episode is being streamed on the Dynasty Overload YouTube. Yes, we now have a YouTube channel. It's also being streamed on the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel, as well as the Dynasty Overload podcast Facebook. So check us out on all social media. We are also on Instagram as well. Just look up Dynasty Overload, any single place you get your podcast, and you should be able to find us there. Now, let's go ahead and dive into this episode. First topic for tonight is Zach Charbonnet a rookie first round pick? I'm going to go ahead and let Razman talk, and we go ahead and swing it to Sheila.
Okay, yeah, let's get into this thing. Zach Charbonnet, definitely first round pick. I know that a lot of people are scared off by the whole thing of him being in Seattle with Ken Walker and whatnot. But this is the reason he's a first round pick for me. For one, he has the talent, and I honestly think that his talent level is over Ken Walker's. So I have Ken Walker. If there was a scale, I would say I have Ken Walker here, and I have Charbonnet right here. So not by an epic amount, but by enough to say, hey, I think he's the better overall prospect at running back. They were both second round picks. And the thing about Ken Walker is we don't know if he can catch. And in the NFL, he did a little bit of that, but not nearly enough to dispel all the naysayers of his receiving ability. That's not a question that we have with Zach Charbonnet. The other thing is this. Charbonnet is a great pass blocker. So listen, if you can block, if you can catch and run the ball, that means that you bring more to the table than what Ken Walker is bringing. So to me, yeah, the talent just screams first round talent. And listen, just because you're picking somebody in the first round doesn't mean that he's going to be Christian McCaffrey. I mean, sometimes you just want somebody that you can put in the starting lineup and know that you're going to get points. That says Charbonnet to me. So yeah, he's a first rounder for me, guys.
All right, Sheila.
Okay, so listen, we don't disagree. Charbonnet is my guy. He is a first rounder. However, he slides down because of the landing spot. So is he a first rounder? Absolutely yes. But I had him pegged 100% at my 1.7. After the landing spot, he slides down right around to that 1.9 to 111 range. You shouldn't go past 111. If you find him in the second round, hurry up, trade up, get to that 2-1 so you can grab him. Because I also believe that talent always prevails. And Razman and I actually agree on this one. Charbonnet is more talented than Kenneth Walker. He's more of a complete back than Kenneth Walker. He's going to be in there on third downs, where Kenneth Walker's going to be riding that pine. So the other news is, if you've been doing your dynasty startups and you see Ken Walker sitting there with that second round ADP, you see him sitting there in the third round, pass on him. If you got rookies in your draft, what's happening right now, we saw it in the draft we recently did. Ken Walker goes 302. Zach Charbonnet falls all the way to the 7th round. Take the value in Charbonnet, who's the more complete back, has a longer runway with the contract, is the better pass blocker. And guess what, y'all? He got 2 of these. Hands. He can catch the ball. Ken Walker ain't got no hands. So let's go get it. Zach Charbonnet season, first round pick.
Hey, before you go, Mr. Manny, I got something for you. This is the coach. This is third down. Walker, out.
Coach Raz in the house.
Out. That's what it is.
I mean, I hear y'all. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Zach Charbonnet is my guy. But also, we got to pay some respect to Kenneth Walker here.
Oh, yeah.
We know who Kenneth Walker is.
He's not
Till
done.
today, we still don't know who Zach Charbonnet is. He still has to get out there and prove himself. But from the talent aspect of it, we know what he brings to the table. We know what he can be. But at the end of the day, we know who Kenneth Walker is. Very talented. I do agree Charbonnet is more talented. I do agree Charbonnet has hands. Let's just see if it translates. But at the end of the day, I agree with She-Lord. I'm definitely grabbing the value. These dudes are crazy. Like, matter of fact, I was talking to Razman today. Or was it She-Lord? I don't know. I've talked to both of y'all today. And somebody sent me a deal involving Kenneth Walker. So this guy drafts Charbonnet. He stashes Charbonnet. Now he wants to give up the less talented back in Kenneth Walker. He sends me Kenneth Walker. He wants Sam Howell. He wants Devin the Chain and Kendre Miller. I said, you crazy. Why would I give you 3 ascending assets for 1 declining asset? So that's crazy to me. So yeah, I do agree with you guys. Zach Charbonnet should be a first round pick, but are you really taking Zach Charbonnet over a Will Levis in Superflex? That's another question. Are you taking Zach Charbonnet over a guy like Dalton Kincaid in tight end premium? So there is reason to see why Charbonnet falls out of the first round. Is it right? Is it wrong? It's your team. You do what you want to do with your team, but those are things to consider. Anybody have any comments?
Just want to kind of slide in there. I think there's a lot of uncertainty after those first 6 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Like after the first 6 picks, it's totally up to you in terms of how you navigate it. Some of that means after the first 6 picks, typically you're looking at being a playoff team in a 12-man league. So if you are a playoff team, you might want to kind of slide in based on where your need is. But if you're looking at the overall talent, we got a guy that we're going to talk about here soon. But I'm going to tell y'all where to go with it.
I also want to say, or what I'll add is, as far as elite talent, I think we have Charbonnet as one of the elite talents in the draft. And I think that you take elite talent over what you feel like you're unsure about. We were unsure about landing spots, but remember, Mr. Manning, you was a guy that told us not to worry about landing spots with your, constant reminding us of Wilson last year. Was it what's his name?
Garrett the Great Wilson.
Oh yeah, constant reminder.
AKA
Absolutely.
Come kill it with Aaron Rodgers this year.
But also you grab players on value.
True.
I'm not grabbing Zach Charbonnet 107. My 107 is Jordan Addison, and then followed by Flowers, followed by Quentin Johnson. I'm going receiver over running back, regardless of what we might think of Quentin Johnson. So for me, it's value.
Yeah, Charbonnet shouldn't go before 1.9. I'm gonna agree with that. It shouldn't go before
I'm just
1.9 or
saying.
110, something like that. I
That's just
agree.
me. But, Shilor, he hates Quentin Johnson. He thinks he sucks. So he's always going to go the running back with a shorter lifespan than a receiver who got first round draft capital. So, I mean, for everybody, you kind of build your team how you want to build your team. And the funny thing is, there's a lot of Quentin Johnson lovers. So you can flip Quentin Johnson for more than you can flip Charbonnet for. People are afraid, Kenneth Walker's there. He had 900 yards rushing and 9+ touchdowns or whatever the case may be. And then they kind of shy away from the receiver who has the potential to have a longer lifespan in a dynasty league. But nothing is guaranteed. Like you said, there's a lot of question marks between these picks. This 23 class hasn't been what I thought it was going to be out the gate, but there's still time for these guys to emerge and do some different things. So for me, it wasn't what I was thinking. Some of these late round picks, it's like, what do you do? What direction do you go? I hate Will Levis, but sometimes I see myself grabbing a Will Levis if I need that third quarterback, or if I have no quarterback whatsoever. I'm drafting Will Levis earlier than some of the receivers I'll grab. So it just kind of depends on your team, your build, your belief system. I remember right after the draft, I was pissed off. So the first 3 rookie drafts that we actually did, I took Devin Achane over Charbonnet. But that was out of me being pissed off, me being mad. Yes, talent over landing spot, but I was just so mad. This was not supposed to happen. That was not supposed to be the landing spot. And then if I needed a back that could perform right away, I felt like, Achane has a better direction towards getting on the field faster, more effective and more efficient than a Zach Charbonnet. So for me, in those win downs where I traded Pollard for 111 and I needed a running back, panicked. I went Devin Achane because I needed
You think that's a bad pick now?
Huh? I think it's a bad pick now because Charbonnet is still a better player by far to me. I had Charbonnet ranked higher than Achane. So for me, that was a panic thing for me in a win now team. I'm looking for right now production. I don't have time to play. I don't have time to wait on this situation in Seattle and letting it take care of it. No, I didn't have time. And I felt that Devin Achane.
If you're not thoroughly convinced in the talent that you picked, then I can see you're kind of having regrets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, I'm telling you, from picks 110 to 205 did not pan out the way I wanted it to. Gotcha. It was crazy. Like everybody got landing spots, decent landing spots. Even the Kendre Miller. You got to wait a little bit for Kendre Miller, right?
Yeah.
So it just didn't. None of the running backs got landing spots. They barely got draft capital. This magical RB class, the year of the running back, which it still could be. They could still be lots of great backs. But me and Shilor have been getting great value in a guy named Tajay Spears. Let's go ahead and get into Tajay Spears a little bit.
Absolutely.
Is Tajay Spears a first round value? I'm going to start first. I'm going to say no, because I'm drafting with a lot of non-smart people. I'm not going to call them the name I want to call them. I'm drafting with a lot of non-smart people. So the smart thing would be to trade back and get the value in Spears where he's going. Is he first round talent? Yes, I had him pegged as my RB4 in this class. I'm going to go to Razman because he's a Titans fan. Tajay Spears is a Titan. And for some reason, Razman does not really believe in the talent of said Spears.
No, I do. Listen, I absolutely believe in Tajay Spears' talent. And I've tried to obtain him in some of the drafts. No, I'm not taking him ahead of Achane. Oh yeah. Ask Mr. Shilo. I've tried to trade with him plenty of times to try to get my guy. But anyways, see. But check this out. The thing about Spears is this. Yeah, I definitely think he's a first round talent, and I also disagree with you here, Mr. Manny. Listen, I don't think that we were wrong about the talent at running back in the draft. I think that we failed to understand how oversaturated the league was going to end up being. Somehow we all thought that they were going to have all these magical landing spots for all these different people and all this different talent. And once they went to places that already had talent there, we were like, well, he doesn't have this clear path to being, to 200 touches, and something that we all kind of just got to understand and kind of recalibrate is, hey, yes, the talent is there. No, they might not be Adrian Peterson in the first year,
Look,
so it might take
I pass it on to Sheilor because he's ready to get in and attack. Look, I remember people, I'm not going to call anybody out. I remember people who said in the Dynasty startup draft, I'm not taking any running backs. I'm going to save all my rookie picks to go ahead and grab these running backs that are going to help me win now. Okay. But none of these backs, except for the first two guys who got remarkable draft capital and remarkable landing spots. Those are the two guys that I feel can come out and produce right away, like from day one. Like, you're getting 12 to 15 points, right? Some of these other guys, they're great talent. Like I said, I love me Kendra Miller, Zach Evans. There's so many other backs that I like. Like Razman says, it's gonna take some time to get to that path towards production, especially in year one. So, Sheilor, take it away.
But I didn't get to finish though. So. And to your thing with that whole running back thing, listen, I still agree with that maneuver. I've could have took some late guys, but listen, I still don't believe in the running backs. Listen, the running backs is going to be a fluctuating situation all throughout the league, unless you have like a top 10 back. Your running back situation isn't so clear. Almost no matter where you are, like even if you have a Derrick Henry right now, you're kind of wondering, okay, what is Tajay Spears' role going to be? But Spears is there basically to do a transition from Derrick Henry eventually over to Spears. And one of the things about Spears is a lot of people are starting to shy away from him because of his knee situation, because of the small school, and different things like that. No, I definitely think that he's a first-round talent. And I think that one thing that we should be thinking about with these running backs, just like a Charbonnet, is because they're going to have less wear on the tires. I think they're going to be more productive per carry or per touch. And I also think that their careers might last a little bit longer too. So if you think about somebody like a Derrick Henry is still running the ball pretty good at 28. I think he's going to be 29 this year. And the thing about Derrick Henry is he didn't have the bulk of the carries when he first started. So his rookie and his sophomore year, he had other running backs there, and they were kind of helping along that load. And now you still see Derrick Henry still running pretty strong at an age where people are like, oh, okay, well, it's time to get off of running backs. But I think that Tajay Spears is not only is he set up, is he a talent, but the thing is the Titans are rebuilding that offensive line, and they're building it. They want to be a running team still. For whatever reason, they still want to be a running team. So I think that Tajay Spears is going to have a clear path eventually. All right, that's me.
See, Titan fans get really excited when they start talking about their team. They get real passionate about them. Start talking about the O-line. Man, we don't want to hear about the Titan O-line, man. We know they're going to bring it. Tajay Spears is a first-round talent. To Manny's point, though, use wisdom. And the point is grabbing guys that you believe in ahead of where ADP is, ahead of where your league mates are, ahead of where a situation is always a recipe for disaster. I've been sitting right at my 201, my 202, grabbing Tajay Spears. I'm on record here grabbing Tajay Spears at that 1.8. That's where I think he falls in the talent spectrum. And yeah, I might have to wait on him, but guess what? We don't know if Derrick Henry doesn't get traded still this offseason. We don't know if he's not a post-June 1 cut. Grab the talent and let the chips fall where it may.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we spent quite some time on Tajay Spears, but it's all good. So another topic I want to kind of get into away from rookies is, who are your top 3 quarterback rankings in Dynasty right now? Because some of us are seeing a lot of Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Mahomes in that order, and that's kind of crazy. I'm not the one who came up with this topic. Somebody in the panel is saying that this is what they're seeing. Razman, where are you seeing this, and who are you playing Dynasty with?
So I'm seeing this from other talking heads, Dynasty talking heads. I'm seeing this in certain Dynasty groups where people are telling me, "Hey, you know what? They're not seeing Mahomes as the number one guy. They're saying, hey, well, Mahomes, and they're saying this. Well, the talent around Mahomes isn't that high. They're liking Kincaid. They're liking some of the things that the Bills are doing. So they're going towards an Allen. They're liking what the Eagles are doing. And they're drifting towards what they feel like the offenses are doing and the talent that's around those guys. I think that most of us are going to agree in here that, listen, Mahomes is number one Dynasty QB, number one Dynasty asset to have. I believe that. I just think that it's odd, and I thought it was something that we could talk about, because I'm thinking that some of the guys who watch the show, in contrast to other shows, might say, hey, well, these guys are still thinking of, 2022 or 2021. And I'm telling you, one thing I would reiterate is go Mahomes and settle that position. You'll be just fine there. That's what I believe.
Before I pass this to Sheila, I just want to say that drugs are bad for humans, and humans and drugs do not mix. In what world would you say Patrick Mahomes is not the 101 of all QBs? It makes zero sense. We have seen this guy do this with talent and without talent. We've seen him do this with more talent, less talent. He is the main constant that remains the same. We talking about Josh Allen this, Josh Allen that. They keep bringing in talent, and Josh Allen is staying at the same level. We have seen Patrick Mahomes not only maneuver the rigors of the NFL, both in Dynasty and real life. That's the 101. You can make your argument about the Jalen Hurts being higher than Josh Allen. That's debatable on a point per point, pound for pound, point for point. You can make that argument. But Mahomes is the 101 of all QBs. Sheila, what do you say?
Okay, so we're on an agreement here. Mahomes is 101. Okay, here's the thing: if you're doing redraft, have at it. If you want to go get you a Jalen Hurts share, right? But here's the point: Dynasty is about longevity, and if you're playing a long game, we don't have any record of a running style quarterback literally having longevity. All of them get hurt. Jalen Hurts was hurt last year, killed some teams in the playoffs. Yeah. Justin Fields hurt last year, killed some teams in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson hurt the last 2 years, killed teams, literally. So if you want to go with safety, if you want to win some chips, go get you some Patrick Mahomes and stop playing. And here's the next thing: Joe Burrow. I'm sorry, y'all. If you don't have Joe Burrow in your top three, you're missing the boat. Joe Burrow has elite talent, elite leadership ability, got a team to the Super Bowl, right? But then also has elite skill options in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Jamar Chase misses the time. Guess what? T. Higgins steps up. The guy knows how to get the ball to people and move the chains. So at the end of the day, if you're looking at long-term assets, give me Patrick Mahomes. Next, give me Joe Burrow. Then I'll go Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts, still not full for me. Let me go with an emerging talent like a Trevor Lawrence. I don't want the running quarterback to control my dynasty destiny. That's it. I'm out on that one.
Preach.
I mean, I love it. I love it. The running quarterbacks do scare me. But if there's one I'm going to take a stab at because he's still young and fresh to the game, before the injury comes, is Jalen Hurts. Like, he's going to give you the points. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy like weeks of 34, 35, 44 points. But when that luck runs out, he will get hurt. But to Sheila's point, he mentions these pocket guys being this and that. They get hurt too. Patrick Mahomes got hurt, but the difference with Patrick Mahomes is that he is him. Play through the injury. That's just what he does. Joe Burrow did miss a season, right?
Right.
So quarterbacks do get hurt, but the running quarterbacks are the ones who get hurt more because they take more unnecessary hits. So I'm with you on that.
Can I add one small thing?
Go ahead.
And that's just going to piggyback off of what both of you guys said. And that's when the running quarterback gets hurt, like say he gets hurt, like it's a knee situation or something like that. If he can't run the same or isn't as mobile, then he drops considerably low. Like when Joe Burrow got hurt, when he came back at the same level. Tom Brady gets hurt, comes back at the same level because their play isn't predicated off of their athleticism. Just wanted to say that.
No, it's a valid point. Great point. So this next segment, we got to talk about Dalton Kincaid and just tight ends in general. So my whole thing with Dalton Kincaid, people talk about Josh Allen is going to turn this guy into Travis Kelce, right? I'm not saying that he can't be Travis Kelce, and I'm hearing all the hype. Dalton Kincaid is supposed to give you Kyle Pitts production, okay? What did Kyle Pitts really do in year one? 1,000 yards, had some catches there, here and there, right? He had no touchdowns, right?
Right.
Or one touchdown, or whatever the case may be. So people are expecting Dalton Kincaid to come in, get 1,000 yards, get 80 to 85 receptions, and get 7 to 8 touchdowns in year one. Did Stephon Diggs die? Is Tommy's guy, Razman's guy, Gabe Davis, he's still around. Khalil Shakir, Shilor's guy, he's still around. Then you have James Cook, who is a guy that can catch and passes. He's still around. And then, wait a minute. Dawson, the main man, Knox. That's Shilor's guy. Shilor told us how great Dawson Knox was going to be last year, and I am still looking for Dawson Knox today. And he's telling me that Kincaid is supposed to come in here and do what Knox is supposed to do. Kincaid is supposed to be what Kyle Pitts was supposed to be. I have no arguments with him not being that. I'm just saying year one. What are we talking about here? Just because the Bills did not draft a real wide receiver to put into the slot, we just think that Kincaid is just going to come in and be slot man. I'm going to let Razman talk, and we're going to throw this thing back to Shilor.
Oh,
no,
give it to Shilor.
No.
Give it to Shilor.
No, let's go with it right now. Number one, keep my tight end's name out your... Shout out to Will Smith. I ain't going to do it, y'all. But look, Dalton Kincaid. Let me tell you, Manny, where did you rank Dalton Kincaid on your tight end rankings walking into the draft?
1. But guess what? I'm not drafting this guy at the 107.
I asked one question. Where did you rank him?
Oh, coming into the draft, once we got to it, he was number 1.
Okay, so here we go. So
wait, what did Razman say?
I said coming into the draft, he was number 1.
This is number 1 tight end.
He said he was number 2. I got the tape. Don't make me play the tape now.
I said coming into the draft, he was number 1.
You're going to switch your rankings and not tell nobody.
Oh, here we go.
So, okay.
So now let's walk through this now.
I talked about it. Y'all didn't pay attention. Go ahead.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to fact check Razman later. Okay?
Go ahead.
Stay focused.
Feel free.
We all have him as the number 1 rated tight end. Now, guess what? What's the dream scenario for the number 1 rated tight end? To go to an elite quarterback. He goes to Josh Allen. And what does Buffalo want to do? Buffalo wants to beat Kansas City. They didn't just take him. They traded up in the draft to go get him. They got in front of a team called the Dallas Cowboys to go ahead on and grab this dude. And they grab him, and guess what? They don't trade for a DeAndre Hopkins who was on the block. They go grab him. So as they grab him, what does that mean? They plan on featuring this man not only as a tight end, but also as a slot receiver. It's already out. That's what the news is. So when you have a big slot, and you're also going to have somebody that's in there, that means he's going to be on the field for opportunity. He's not going to be 1,000 yards. He doesn't have to actually match that productivity, but he's not going to be with Matt Ryan getting 1 and 2 TD passes. He's going to be with Josh Allen in the red zone who can fake a run and throw touchdown passes. My projections for him is 750 yards, 60 catches, 8 touchdowns year 1. When he does that, guess what? That's a top 5 tight end. And if you're not understanding that in a tight end premium, that is elite production coming out, then you're missing the boat. This is exactly what we talk about. We just complained about everybody else having terrible landing spots. You have the guy that has the best pass catcher, that has the best landing spot, who we already ranked talent-wise as number 1. And now we're going to back up off of it? Makes no sense to me. Explain yourselves.
You go ahead, Raz, before I finish and destroy She-Lord.
So I'm gonna go. This is what I'm gonna say about tight ends in the first year. How many times have we actually seen that, right? So if we're talking about history, how many times have we actually seen a tight end get drafted year one and come out and then put up elite tight end production? Now you can say, hey, two years ago in Atlanta, but listen, they had no other options out there.
Well,
they literally had no one else to throw the ball to. That's one thing. I do think that I do love Kincaid's. I do love his talent, and I do. And listen, I'm going to straddle the fence here as far as to say I believe he's a first round talent, but I'm going to say I'm not going to draft him in the first round. Mainly being, unless it's like 112. Mainly being is because I don't think that he's going to do what you think he's going to do in the first year. I just don't, and I think that I might be able to get Kincaid off of somebody. Maybe not you, but I think I might be able to get Kincaid off of somebody for like 2 seconds, and I just pay a lower price for him. That's what I think.
No tight end is worth first round talent. I'm not taking a tight end in the first round. It's just something I can't do. Why would I get Kincaid at 107 or 108 when I can get Michael Mayer at the 204, 205? And
have you seen Michael Mayer move?
Wait a minute. You've talked. Let me talk. He is actually the tight end who went to the best situation. You telling me that Austin Hooper and who's that other guy? OJ Howard? Who are those guys? Michael Mayer is the guy that has the path to get on the field. You talk about getting on the field and staying on the field. You have a guy who can block, catch. This guy is going to get 90% of the tight end snaps. Then he's playing with who? Mr. Check Down Charlie, Jimmy G. What does Jimmy G do? He's going to throw to the tight end. So yes, although Dalton Kincaid is my number one tight end in this draft, I'd rather go Michael Mayer at the 204, 205 at value for the guy who is going to be the focal point of that offense outside of Devontae Adams. So you talk about who's going to the better situation? It's Michael Mayer. I know who Josh Allen is, but there's so many mouths to be fed over there.
So one thing is Dawson Knox just got a 4-year deal at the beginning of the season, I believe.
He's not going away.
So he's not going away. He's still going to be on the field. That takes opportunities away from Kincaid. So even if he's used as a slot, even if he starts in a slot, for one, I've just never seen it. I've never seen a tight end, a guy get drafted as tight end and then start in the slot day one. I haven't seen that. That didn't even happen with the dude in Atlanta. It didn't start off like that. So you got to show it to me. And listen, but I do believe in the talent. I'm excited to see it.
But this is what makes what Sheila is saying preposterous, okay? It's blasphemous. You love Dawson Knox. You told me Dawson Knox was good. So were you telling the truth, or were you like, which one is it?
Well, here's the deal. So the Dawson Knox hype, and the reason why I like Dawson Knox is the same reason why I like Dalton Kincaid. So the two can be the same. When you trade up and you actually get first round draft capital for a tight end, for a pass catcher, going to an elite quarterback. Mm-hmm. If they believed what I believe talent wise on Dawson Knox, do you draft Dalton Kincaid with him on a contract and you just gonna bring him off the bench? No, you don't do that on an elite team that's gonna actually be a playoff team. I believe that you have a path where you see both of them out there together. They also want to run the ball more as well. So I believe they're going to actually run more 2 tight end sets as they're actually out there. Both of them having that ability because that's what they're doing. You saw that with Damian Harris. It's already news out that Josh Allen isn't going to be running as much. So it sets the stage to actually have it where both can be productive. But as far as actually who's going to be outside, not just the inline blocker, because that is not his game. If you're grabbing Dalton Kincaid, you're not bringing him out there for the blocking. You're bringing him out there for his hands. Mm-hmm. So now you're looking at the system. You're looking at the infrastructure. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. So when everything comes out, I look forward to playing this back, this episode right here on 5/17. Mm-hmm. And we had this conversation at the end of the year when Dalton Kincaid is a top 8 tight end. You heard it here. Sheila said it. That's what's going on. And I'm looking forward to these sad faces right here.
Oh, it won't be a sad face. It'll be a glad face.
There'll be sad faces because I have him in
nothing to do with
every league we're in for the most part, and I'm looking forward to it. And Michael Mayer, first of all, Jimmy G, what is he known for? Not checking down. He's known for checking out. The guy never finishes a season. He's known for not playing. So I'm done.
I got his backup too. So check this out. So check this out, Sheila. This question for you. So Schumacher goes in the second round, goes to Dallas, who is a high pass and high efficiency offense. No one's excited about him. You know, he has a draft capital and he's in a high passing offense.
He sucks.
No one's excited about him.
Because he sucks, man.
And according to the NFL, he doesn't.
No,
he was like the second tight end taken, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't.
He was third?
He
was taken in the second round.
Okay. He was at the end of the second round. I believe he was the 5th tight end taken. I had him personally. I don't know if you had him ranked, but I had him ranked as my 11th ranked tight end in this class. Okay. He does go to a situation in Dallas. But guess what Dallas knows? Dallas knows that they need to run the ball and not let Dak throw the ball much because they're trying to lean on that defense and not allow Dak to throw picks. We know that Dak likes to throw picks.
Pollard and Deuce Vaughn, Deuce 5'2" Vaughn. What were they thinking?
Well, they were giving the ball to Zeke last year,
right.
And what were they thinking then? So at least you're fast. I don't know.
So wait. Outside of Pollard, who are the backs in Dallas? It's mind-boggling because we knew these teams who needed running backs. Like Roschon would have been perfect in Dallas. I'm so glad he didn't go to Dallas. So with a rich class, super talented class with tons of backs, and they don't grab one, not even for free. You go with the hybrid guy
last year.
Who's one?
So I think they're a candidate for a Kareem Hunt or a Leonard Fournette. Or that guy Dalvin Cook, who's going to get cut soon. I think they're a legit candidate to actually grab one of these veteran running backs that actually comes in. And here's the nightmare scenario for a lot of fans who don't like Dallas. What if the Titans actually trade Derrick Henry to the Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, y'all just thought about that, and then you got terrified on it. I got scared and I spoke on my mouth just saying it, but that's a reality that could happen. And you're seeing Dallas be aggressive, but if Tajee Spears comes out and does the things that are needed in camp, Will Levis wins that job. Hey, it's time to move on from Derrick Henry. If you can get a second-round pick from Dallas, it might be on. So be afraid, y'all.
I think the Titans are in a rebuild. I think the Titans are not going to be good. I think the Titans need to sell. Me and Raz, man, talked about this earlier today. They need to sell everybody. Okay? Mm-hmm. That team is not going anywhere. Ryan Tannehill, are you kidding me? Not what I said. Will Levis, what are we talking about here? You need to find out what you have in your young guys. It's either you're going to be really good, you're going to be really bad. I don't think the Titans have any chance of being really good. So what's going to happen is if they play their guys, they will be stuck in mediocrity like the Commanders, where you're just good enough to win 7 to 8 games, okay?
We can win our division.
Drafting, guess where? Between pick 14 to 16, where you can't get your franchise quarterback, you can't get anything, you're just getting whatever that falls. If that's what the Titans want to do, take it from a Commanders fan who knows. Y'all can be in that same purgatory if you want to, but it is not a fun place to be. I think they should sell everybody. Why not?
No. We're giving it one more run, and we're gonna go from there.
6 wins. Let's go. Woohoo!
Hey, listen,
tighten up, baby.
I think we're gonna challenge for the division.
Okay. Man, faith of a mustard seed. It's a beautiful thing, my brother.
Who's better? The Jaguars? They stink.
Okay. At least they have a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Everybody you name right now in that division has a franchise quarterback, except for the Titans.
No,
trust me.
No, they don't.
It matters.
No, they don't.
If that's the case, we got one of the Texans will have a better record than the Tennessee Titans. You heard it here first.
Let's do something with that. We can make some bets on that.
Now, let's go ahead and go into this topic. If Dalvin Cook is to be cut, released, traded, who do you trust more? Alexander Madison who has actually played football in the NFL, or Dwayne McBride? I'm gonna let Sheila go first.
If Dwayne McBride is what I saw him do, and he can hold on to the ball, because the big thing for him is simple. He has to not be fumbling the ball. If he fumbles the ball, he's out. So for that reason, Alexander Madison is the guy I trust. He's the guy that I would actually roll with. He already knows the offense. He knows the system. He knows the playbook. There is no learning curve. He's been in waiting for this moment this whole time. So for me, it's Alexander Madison as far as the trust piece. So that's who I would actually roll with.
Raz?
Okay, so if we're talking trust, of course, it's going to be Madison. It just makes sense. But the question that I posed was, who are you more excited about? And clearly, I'm more excited about McBride. I think that Madison, I think we've seen what Madison can do. I don't think that it's much more than an average running back. I think when you're excited about him, you're excited because you're like, hey, this backup running back is producing average running back numbers. And you're pretty excited about that. But I think McBride can break out and be actual number one running back. I think he can carry the load. I think you're more excited about that. Could I be wrong? Sure could be. But I do think that McBride's ceiling is a lot higher than Madison's.
Wait a minute. I'm about to check you.
About.
I'm about to check you. What round was McBride drafted in?
7th, I'm thinking.
Sheila, do you know?
Off the top of my head, I want to say 5th or 6th, but let's find out.
He was in the 7th.
I want to say undrafted, but it's, I don't know.
Hold on.
So while you guys are looking that up, for you, Razman, is McBride a 3-down back?
Not yet.
Can McBride pass catch?
We don't know.
Can he pass protect?
Hasn't been given an opportunity.
Okay. But yet he has the higher ceiling than Madison.
A higher ceiling because
I rest my case, Your Honor.
As a prospect, is just running the ball. He's a way better runner of the ball.
Okay.
Just based on tape.
So. I've seen Madison do some great things. It's just that, we talked earlier today, he should not pay running backs. Like, Madison should have had the job 2 years ago. Like, had they got out of Dalvin Cook soon enough, they won't be in the situation that they are in now. You should never pay running backs.
Let me tell you the problem with Madison right now is if you look at his overall numbers, his yards per carry are going down as the years climb.
As a starter or just overall?
Just overall. And then
I'm looking at start. Like I got you. What I look at is
look at the games that he actually starts in. Mm-hmm. He's actually not producing at a high level. He's not producing more than an average running back. He actually looks better and does more in the games that he plays the complementary roles in. That's where he comes out, has a little change of pace, gives a burst of energy. If you just go and really look at his numbers, when he's actually starting, he's giving you average quarterback or average running back numbers, but he's not an elite running back when he's starting the game. He puts up elite numbers when he's playing the complementary role.
So everything that Alexander Madison is not Dwayne McBride is. Interesting.
I'm not sure. I'm saying we don't know about this, but I am saying that I believe that McBride can, and I'm excited about it.
I love McBride.
Tag me in.
You got it?
Tagged in? Okay, here we go. So McBride, he gets drafted in the 7th round, pick 222 overall. Okay? So now we're looking at 7th round draft capital. Okay? So here's the deal. I think he does have talent, right? A lot of people that I respect in the industry do believe in his talent, right? Now, here's the thing. He has a bigger contract right now than Alexander Madison, okay? I think Tommy's points that he's making, or Razman's points that he's making here, are valid. Alexander Madison, when given the opportunity to start, has not performed. In fact, he actually has gotten hurt in games where he was supposed to start. So it's a combination of things. So as far as the excitement, right? Because I think that's the thing. If he says excitement, you're always excited about grabbing somebody that you can get in the 3rd or 4th round of a rookie draft, then having to pay a 24 second to get your hands on Alexander Madison. So it might be an issue of kind of grabbing both, right? You can kind of see how everything plays out. But the way this is set up, there could be a whole nother back that comes in here and takes over this backfield that we're talking about. It's still vets out there. So Minnesota's a win now team. If they look at this thing and they're like, hey, we don't know that any one of these guys is good, this is another landing spot for those guys that were looking for jobs right now. You're Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt steps on the field, and I think he's instantly better than all of these guys that have.
Yeah.
Playoff Lenny, if he decides to get in shape and come in and get a job, I think he's a better back than all these guys that they have right now. So very curious to see the backfield situation in Minnesota. We know it's a fluid offense. Definitely.
Yeah, so I'm not Sheila got frozen for a little bit, so I'll just talk. I don't get excited for running backs who don't get draft capital anymore. Like I'm done falling for that. Like, I mean, you're talking 7th round, even in a deep class, it just is what it is. Like, some of these guys might never be stars, but they might be guys who come in and give you production, and that's all you're really looking for out of your running back. Like, we look at Michael Carter, right? 4th round, we were excited. He did some pretty good things in his rookie year. Boom, replaced, right? Then you have a guy like Elijah Mitchell, played well, but he just wasn't elite, replaced. So unless you're like a Austin Eckler who went undrafted and just got lucky and just, I mean, everything just went perfect for him. From being a 3rd down back to being a pass catching back to now being a complete back, outside of Melvin Gordon being shipped away because you don't pay running backs ever, right? That's the rule. So for a guy like Eckler, it worked out. So regardless of all these backs, yeah, we're going to get some backs that are going to come in, play, possibly start for a year or two, and then it's just a revolving door. So I don't get excited for running backs who don't get the draft capital anymore. Not that they're not good. It's just that, I mean, we've seen good draft capital get replaced. We are seeing Kenneth Walker getting replaced. So if Kenneth Walker can get replaced, who are the rest of these guys? I love these guys at value. I love McBride. But it's like, I'm not putting my hopes and dreams into these guys anymore. I'm not getting excited. I'm not getting excited about these guys. I'm just going to just have a bunch of these guys and just see what happens. So, Tommy, I mean, Razman, you're not wrong. It's just, for me, I don't know. I'd rather just go with the guy that I know, the guy that I've seen. And I do like Madison in the passing game. And I think he's going to be the more productive back out of the two. If McBride is to succeed and be special, guess what? Madison has to get hurt. And then he gets all the work. Now you're talking about that's game changer. And I know you have tons of McBride shares, and you can come back on the show and say, ha, I told you. But yeah, injury is going to be a way that a lot of these backs get onto the field a lot quicker and possibly be productive year one.
So let me shift there. There is one late round back that I'm very excited about his landing spot.
Just one. Me too.
Just one. And that man's name is Zach Evans.
Zach Evans, yep.
I am thrilled with his landing spot because I believe he is a more talented version of Cam Akers. He walks in, he's in a situation. We all saw what happened with Cam Akers last year. They had a whole thing where they were going to trade him. He went away from the team for a couple weeks. He came back in, he finished the season strong. But here's the thing. What I understand about Sean McVay is when you burn him, he's really out on you. They traded up in the draft to actually go ahead and actually grab him. He still had late round draft capital. But I think a lot of the draft capital with this class is contingent upon the fact that it was so deep.
Yeah.
So you can find good running backs late.
Right.
So I believe Zach Evans is a guy to keep your eyes on. Not that we go over the moon or anything else, but if you acquire him, grab him, stash him. I'm putting him on taxi squads. I'm picking him up for 3rd round picks. I'm sitting him there and I'm excited about seeing what happens. But talent plus opportunity, right? At the intersection of talent and opportunity, your fantasy destiny can be formed. This guy has that opportunity. Y'all welcome. Y'all go ahead and steal that, grab it, hold on to it, hold it tight, let it know that Sheila said it right here at, what is this, 10:56. It's on. Let's go.
Preach, Bishop.
Come on, Doc.
Preach
Pass
it.
the plate. Pass it.
Shanda. Hey,
Pass
shit a
the
book
plate.
so hot. That's a good word. That's a good word. From the doc himself.
There you go.
Hey man, look, let's go ahead and get into the last segment of the night, man. So I want to talk sleepers. Tons of sleepers in the rookie draft, right? You can kind of go any way you kind of want to go with this. So for me, I'm gonna start first, and we just kind of just keep rotating and just keep going, you know. So I'm gonna toss one out. Sean Tucker, he goes undrafted, and at first I didn't know why he went undrafted. I was excited about this guy. Brass, hey Manny, it's not because of his talent, it's because of the medicals. I said, ooh, because in a draft, before the draft, I took this guy in the third round. I think it was the third round or late second or third, whatever the case may be. I grabbed me Sean Tucker. I'm excited about him. I'm like, man, a team can get this guy and he can be an explosive back for them. And then I actually love the landing spot, even though he went undrafted. He'll have a chance to possibly make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers squad and maybe carve out a role. I don't know what to expect from this guy, but he is on my taxi. I have tons and tons of Sean Tucker, and he's on my taxi. Razman, who is one of your sleepers?
Okay, man. Honestly, I have so many. Let me just get you one. Okay, my guy, Tucker Crab. Tucker Crab is one of my sleepers because, he goes to Green Bay. I believe he's the better pass catcher of the two tight ends to go to Green Bay. Musgrave went there as well, and I think that a lot of people are looking at Musgrave and say, "Oh, well, he got drafted ahead of Crab, so that makes him basically the starter." And I don't believe that. I believe if you get drafted a couple of rounds apart, that doesn't really mean anything. I think once they go to camp, then the guy with the most talent is going to be the guy with that's going to have the most opportunity there. And you could say, well, they might just derail one another. I don't believe that as well. I believe that Green Bay wants to pass the ball. I think that this is a great tight end draft, and I think that Tucker Kraft is a better tight end than Musgrave, and you're getting him. Yep, you're getting him in the fourth round, or you're getting him even undrafted. I think that's great production. So yeah, absolutely.
All right,
we obviously disagree. You got to tell me what Musgrave is doing better than Tucker Kraft.
Before I pass this on to Sheila, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and it's gonna be for the record. Musgrave is more Kincaid-like.
Okay.
Kraft is more Mayer-like. Take with that whatever you like. Musgrave is one of the better pass catching tight ends in this draft, and I actually had Musgrave as my tight end 3. But hey,
Musgrave has to get on the field and actually play.
What do I know? Sheila?
That's a fun fight. I'm gonna break the tie. Musgrave is the better talent. Watch the draft capital. Okay. If you look at the film, when he's out there, it's not close. The skill set to be a pass catcher and catch the ball is why he went where he went. So
he's not going to be on the field.
We'll fight later.
Okay, he's not going to be on the field.
Runs a 2 tight end system.
Okay.
Especially Aaron Rodgers, they're going to run that 2 tight end system. But Kraft will be blocking. Musgrave will be catching passes. But we'll fight later. We'll get you later. We're going to put a pin right here. We'll pick that up, and we'll be ready. Okay? Now, here's the sleeper. Aiden O'Connell is this year's Brock Purdy. Okay? He goes to the Oakland Raiders. He's there with Jimmy Glass Garoppolo. Okay? It's already out. Devontae Adams is mad that Jimmy G is his quarterback. Why is that? Hold on. He comes out with this whole article. I don't know if y'all seen it. But what he says essentially is, I don't like the direction of the offense. Well, hold on. What happened differently? Derek Bum Carr, his boy, got dismissed. It's the same offense. It's the same coach. They fed him the ball. Of course they know to get him the ball. But he doesn't want to be out there having to run a comeback route every time, because that's all Jimmy Glass Garoppolo can throw. Aiden O'Connell has a unique release, quick release of the ball. He's going to quickly look like the better quarterback. Watch it in preseason. And when Jimmy Glass Garoppolo goes down, like he does everywhere, Aiden O'Connell's going to step in like a superhero.
Is Hoyer still there?
That job.
Is Hoyer still there?
Hoyer?
Yeah.
You talking about, hey, do me a favor.
I'm just saying, is he still there?
Last man, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Go look up how old Hoyer is, and we can go to
I got it. I'm just saying.
You're going to pass it to
I'm just saying, he's still on the team, right?
Hey,
all right. Let me go ahead and say this. Bold prediction. Devontae Adams will not finish this season as a Vegas Raider. He's gone.
Amen.
If
I'm
that
with that.
happens,
I'm on that train.
If that happens, the number one target on that team will be Michael Mayer. Regardless of who the quarterback is, they got to throw to somebody. And yes, Hunter Renfrow's there. Yes, is that Jacoby Myers? Kind of similar, right? So you have all these guys that don't really go far, run, turn around. That's what it's going to be. Like you say, comeback routes. It's going to be a lot of comeback routes. Tight ends are going to be doing it. Running backs are going to be doing it. If we were on the team, we all will be doing it. You're going to see offensive linemen doing this in the red zone. Run, turn, and run, and turn. And that's what you're going to see out of that offense. I just think Devontae Adams is not going to have time for that. Like, he's going to say, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Whatever I have to do to facilitate this, he came there to play with his homie. His homie was trash, and his homie's gone. So now, what does he do? Does he follow his homie to New Orleans? We'll see.
I think so.
I just don't think he finished the team as a Vegas Raider.
I think you're gonna see that. If I peg that happens, I'm thinking he's going to the Saints. I mean, how dynamic is that now with Adams and Olave?
He's not a free agent to go to the Saints.
No, you're talking about trade. So definitely trade. Has to be trade with the contract and everything. But
he's a diva, man. He's not a diva, but he's gonna have diva-like symptoms this year.
But it depends on what happens in that offense. If they start off doing anything, then he might stay.
They're not gonna do nothing.
I don't think they will, but
they're already
the worst
team in that division.
Yeah, they're gonna be playing for Caleb Williams. Okay,
yeah,
he's gone. He's not waiting for Caleb. He wants to play for championships.
So he only went there for Derek Carr. So that's why he wants to. That's why
he wants for Carr. But apparently he wanted to get out of Green Bay.
He wanted to get out of Green Bay.
And I think he's from the West Coast, right? So these are all different things that came out already, right? So he's on the record saying that. So I think he's happy with where he's at, but he's not happy with seeing that bum quarterback that he got out there throwing the ball now.
Hey, could go to San Francisco, work out something with Ayuk and some draft picks.
I don't say he get there either.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, anything is possible. Do you really just think, like, just look at what has transpired in the NFL? These wide receivers are getting quarterback money, and these wide receivers are just as important. Like, every team needs an elite wide receiver. If you don't have an elite wide receiver, you got nothing. What you got?
So if we're doing bold predictions, I'm going to go ahead and predict that if Cook is gone and they don't add anybody like a Leonard Fournette, I'd say McBride gets over 400 rushing yards this season.
That's a bold prediction.
That's a
seventh round
bold prediction, bro.
It's a 7th round running back. You just said that he's not.
Everybody gets 400 yards.
Which running backs got 400 yards last year?
All right, okay. Since Razman doesn't know what a bold prediction is, let me go ahead and give you one. Okay, here's the bold prediction: Jahmyr Gibbs will finish ahead of Bijan Robinson in fantasy points and finish as a top 8 fantasy running back this year. Okay, that's a bold prediction. Okay, not 400.
What was Manny's? What was? That Mayer was gonna. Oh, that's not bold.
What are you talking about? I didn't make a bold prediction. I haven't made a bold prediction yet. The bold prediction my prediction was that Devontae Adams does not end the year as a Vegas Raider.
Right, but you said it was your bold prediction that Mayer was going to be the guy that was going to have the yards.
I don't recall.
Let's fight him.
That's what you said. That's what you said.
When was that said?
You said Mayer was going to lead the Raiders.
Is your earpiece working?
Yards. That's what you said, man. That's what you
or
said.
Are you sleepy? I don't know which one. It's got to be one of the two.
That's what you said. Don't worry. If y'all want to do some bold predictions,
where's your coffee?
Predictions for you. I'm out of coffee. I'm having a great night right now.
You're not in the game. You're not EA Sports right now.
Yeah.
You're not EA Sports.
Hey, listen. I got a good sleeper though, and that's my boy Michael Wilson from the Cardinals. For some reason, people are sleeping on his talent. I don't see who's ahead of him so far on the Cardinals. I mean, especially if D Hop is gone, then if D Hop is gone, which it don't seem like he's in the team's plans. If D Hop is gone, then you got your boy, you got Hollywood on one side, and you got Wilson on the other. So I'm trying to see who's in his way.
Okay, so you just asked the question. You want to see who's in his way?
Yeah,
okay.
Who's in his way?
So you just named the two guys that are in his way.
D Hop. I don't think D Hop's going to be on the team. He's going to be a part of that
they're not
team.
Trading him. He's already came out and said that he's staying.
Okay, cool.
So D Hop's not going anywhere.
Now, how long is he staying?
Okay, so now we going beyond the season now.
I'm saying he's a sleeper. Yeah, beyond the season. I'm saying
what he's saying
because I'm
is
talking Dynasty.
He said that Michael Wilson, whatever his name is the savior, and he's willing to wait 4 years for this guy. That's what he's saying. He's going to be in his taxi for 4 years.
I think the next year he's going to be a viable player for that team. That's what I'm saying.
I don't see it, man. He's old and he's slow. How do you come into the league already old and already slow? You haven't taken NFL hits yet. You come in old and slow. I just don't see it. Greg Dortch is better than that guy. Okay, if we're going to talk about who's ahead of him, Rondell Moore is better than that guy. And these are guys.
Who's your favorite tight end over there? Trey McBride is ahead of him.
Okay, I like Trey McBride.
Is ahead of him.
Yeah, wow. We're gonna see, but this is my bold prediction that Michael Wilson's going to really turn a lot of y'all's heads.
Here's the thing. This is the same guy that told me Hakeem Butler, the Arizona Cardinals drafted, was going to be a thing. The same team he told me Andy Isabella.
So I thought so.
He has a crush on these Arizona wide receivers that are coming in trash, that last never on these teams. These guys don't even make the team.
So some of the problem that the other guys had was they didn't really have when Isabella came in, he didn't really have anybody great throwing to him. Murray came in after that, but by that time he was really already buried.
Isabella was really trash. Okay, next.
And Isabella didn't turn out to be the talent that I thought he was going to be, but I also don't think he was properly used. Hakeem Butler was trash.
Okay.
He was trash. I don't think that Isabella was used properly.
That this guy might be trash. Like, Arizona is not good at drafting wide receivers. Rondell Moore, he's borderline trash.
But they also had Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden.
And let's talk about Keyshawn Johnson. Remember him? Same draft. They drafted 3 wide receivers and hit on none of them. Then they followed that up by Rondell Moore and somebody else. Trash. Now you draft another.
None of that got nothing to do with Michael Wilson.
He's trash.
Okay. Yeah. Well, listen. My prediction is he's not.
Okay. I mean, I got
him. And then we can roll the tape back.
All right. He's the savior. You draft these guys with no draft capitals, and they supposed to come in and just beat the guys.
He does have draft capital.
What? 4th round? 9th round?
He was drafted in the 3rd.
Oh, he's a 3rd rounder?
Yeah.
In this magnificent receiving class.
But I think that's the problem. So, let's kind of deal with the prospect, right? So, number 1, he's buried. Number 2, he has a problem staying on the field.
Okay.
Number 3, he didn't get separation. And then that's the big thing. So, for me, it's like you don't have to do route running. You're buried behind at least 2 guys that we all agree are better. Mm-hmm. And then the big thing for
better that we agree are.
Do we agree that D Hop and Hollywood Brown
D Hop's not
better than Michael Wilson?
So next year D Hop's not going to be there.
Okay. So now we're saying we're going to grab and stash this guy for a year.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be good.
That's what you do with late round picks, right?
Next year. Okay. All right. So when we're walking through and we're thinking about bold predictions, let's focus on who's going to make some impact
this year.
Somebody right now.
Okay, cool. So I'm saying that my 7th round pick is going to get over 400 rushing yards. Y'all
that's it. That's the one.
Y'all
we're good.
I mean, that's not a bold prediction. I'm
telling
you.
Dwayne.
Listen, y'all telling me like 7th rounders don't even make the team at the time. I'm sitting here telling you that the man is going to be not only make the team, but he's actually going to be part of what that team does. That's what I'm saying.
Cool story.
Yeah,
Not bad. It's pretty
Absolutely.
bad. Low prediction.
no,
but
it's not.
okay.
But you predicting that mayor is gonna lead the Raiders? Get out of here.
I didn't say that.
That's what you said, man.
I didn't say that. I said if Devontae Adams is gone, who else on that? Who's on the team? Do you really trust Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah,
Jacoby Myers?
I think Josh Jacobs gonna lead them in catches. Because they look handoffs and catches. Look, you're on a 1-year deal, bro. You're not getting a contract. Guess what? We're running the ball with you every snap, and we're gonna throw it to you, kind of like what the Steelers did with Najee Harris the last year in Roethlisberger.
Hey, it could happen.
Ball, bro. Here,
It could happen. Hey,
hot potato.
hey, you might be on to something. You might be on to something.
Najee has a better season than last year's season. That's not
Okay.
that bold, but I think he did.
I said, oh, that's a spicy take.
No.
Like,
No.
this guy.
I was just since you brought him up, it's like he
Okay.
has a better season than last season. Yeah.
I agree. So let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Is there any final thoughts?
Dalton Kincaid, y'all. To the moon. I'm telling y'all now, grab him, tight end premium. He is the guy that you want to go and get. He's with Josh Allen. It makes all the sense in the world. Go get you some Dalton Kincaid. Thank me later.
Dwayne McBride, if you got a late round pick, he needs something to do with it. Get you some Dwayne McBride. Another thing, if you are in a tight end premium, you got another late round pick. Get you some Tucker Kraft. These are great places to put them.
Hey, tight ends, grab them all in tight end premium and pray. That's what I do after the draft. I grab everything that y'all don't draft, and guess what? I found guys like Dulcich. I found guys like Ferguson. I don't know what Ferguson does this year. I really think that Ferguson is the better tight end in that system. It's not Schumacher. Nobody knew who Schumacher was, but Sheilor. He had him ranked. I had that guy unranked. This guy got draft capital, and now everybody's thinking he's going to be somebody. He is going to be the guy holding the clipboard for the tight end group, okay? He's going to be the guy passing waters. I don't trust Schumacher, whatever you want to call him. Give me all the Ferguson, okay? Ferguson was somebody I was high on, and I think he finally gets a chance. Now, Ferguson can go out there and be trash, and then you got to revert back to Schumacher. But I don't see Schumacher doing anything, at least in year one. But if he's available after the draft, you grab him still and you stash him. Forget everything I'm talking about. Grab all the tight ends after the draft, put them in your taxi, and just see what happens, especially in tight end premium. Best strategy.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been an excellent episode of the Dynasty Overload podcast. I am your host, Manny, joined by my guy, Razman and Sheilor. Please be sure to follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dynasty Overload. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram. Check us out on Twitter. Also, please leave us a rating on Apple, 5-star. Say something nice, okay? It helps the podcast. It helps us to get the message. It helps us to spread the gospel of Dynasty to the masses. We want to help you guys win your leagues. And if you guys are enjoying what you guys are seeing, each one, reach one, take this episode and share it with somebody who you feel might enjoy it. And we'll catch you guys on that next one. We out. Peace.
Peace.